guys, to everybody out there, and especially the Northern Caucus.
Yeah, to all of us.
Let's start off like this, Suhini. How awkward or out of place is what happened? This is not normal, or are we just blowing it out of proportion?
No, baby, we are not blowing it out of proportion. This is unimaginable. It hasn't happened before, at least not in this country. Yes, we've had helicopter crash landing. We've had, forced landing. In one incident, it involved the burning of a corpse. But never before have we experienced this. 8 bright lives just snapped. I mean, and to think of how it all happened, it's so difficult. It's almost a week. Tomorrow is exactly a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't have answers to too many questions. How did it happen? When did it happen? We only know the date. We don't really know the exact time. I mean, what did they go through? What were their last words? Did they know they were dying? In what state? I mean, it's unthinkable. It's just something that you cannot even begin to wrap your head around. And I feel the sorrow, the confusion that the families may be feeling that right now. I can't even begin to put myself in the shoes of His Excellency the President. Baby, he had personal relationships with all these 8 people. So sometimes even for somebody like me, who was, I would say, close to only about 3, I get confused about who I am mourning. I just know it is not well with me. I don't know who's deaf. Who's deaf among the 3 that I'm so close to is most hurting. So I begin to imagine what the president may be going through.
Let's look at the 3 that are close to you, because as a broadcaster, you have had interactions with these people for a very long time, from the morning show, Alaji and Alaji. You've built a certain relationship over this time. Where were you when the news hit you, and what exactly was your mode of thought at that point in time?
Oh my God. You know very well that I was on radio when I lost my dad.
Oh.
I lost my mom in politics. And I can tell you, Bibi, that I have never felt the way I felt when the news got to me about this plane crash. My mom's passing was especially painful. My dad was very painful. I won't say I've gotten over it. I don't think people ever do. But this was different. I was in the office at the Ministry of Roads and Highways when a gentleman who works with us came in, our protocol officer. And he did quite well because he started with a conversation that was unrelated to this. But then along the line, he slipped it in to ask if I had heard that there was a helicopter crash. I said no. But whilst talking to him, A friend was calling, but I thought I could finish the conversation before calling. But immediately he said it, it dawned on me that the friend might have been calling because of that. So I called her back. And she also asked me the same question and said, I hear Omani, and oh my goodness, the mention of the name. And Muntaka were on board the flight. And I said, what? So while speaking with her, I hope I have his permission to do this, the minister in charge of government communication, Felix, was also calling. So I hung up her call immediately, and then I picked Felix's call. And then first thing he said was, where are you? I said, I'm in the office. So we need Mutale's wife's number. Oh my God, baby. I started feeling cold all of a sudden. My knees became so weak. I haven't had that feeling before. I could feel the weakness in all my joints. I believe if I wasn't seated and I was standing, I could have fallen. So I said, what? Mutale's wife, why? He said, the accident. So I asked where he was. He said it was the Flagstaff house. I said, okay, I'll get the number and get back to him. So I immediately got around and get the number.
The first Borough Party is now marching
I was already on my way.
towards the tail of the aircraft, where
Only when I got there,
they will receive the first casket and move it to the first catafalque.
Suhuyini, for some time we didn't actually want to touch on it because it always gets a little too deep and a little too dark. It just seems to turn everybody totally quiet. You should see us in the studio right now. It's like there's a stone on everyone now. Let me ask you, what is going to happen now? After all of this, a couple...
When the casket is moving towards the catafalque and it passes in front of you,
what happens now? Could you quickly walk us
I
through
request that all military personnel
what we should expect,
pay the appropriate compliments
this
as they pass by to the catafalque. Foreign party is now ready.
It was a difficult protest, breaking the family, getting the press together for Chief of Staff to address the media to confirm.
Foreign party.
And then bringing ourselves to visit the families.
I request for us to pay the appropriate compliments as the casket moves into position.
And she did a fantastic job. I've been amazed at her strength and her wisdom, her quiet, presence in the room, guiding the process without saying much. She's been amazing. And the Chief of Staff led another.
Second catafalque will now commence movement to the aircraft.
Very difficult to even take the decision to bury the two Muslims here in Accra and even to delay the burial. It wasn't easy. Because Muslims are encouraged to bury within 24 hours of death. And so to have delayed the burial from Wednesday till Sunday, the kind of social engineering that we had to do with the families, with the imams, wasn't easy. And again, I commend the leadership of the party, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, Minister. Even in our state of confusion and mourning, we still had to, exhibit some clarity of thought to engage in ways that things I mean, to engage in ways that things didn't have to get out of hand. So we had to convince the imams to understand that this was beyond our control because of the states that their bodies were in and how they were mixed up. There was the need for us to be certain that this was this. And so the rituals were performed on the right people. So the president, oh my goodness, even in his state, the wisdom in guiding this has also been remarkable. I mean, so we had to get some of the samples, got the families. I remember the night that the bodies were arriving, we had to get the relatives of these people to also be on standby at 37 so that they could pick samples from them to do the DNA and others to do the matching and all that. And it was all at the instance of the president. And, when it became necessary to take some of the samples to South Africa, there was a private flight arranged just to fast-track the process. And in the end, we came to we got to identify the two Muslims properly. And then the whole engagement was to the fact that we were going to bury as soon as practicable. So once the DNA was done and identity is done, we had to fast-track that burial because it had to be. It was already too late. But the religion is flexible. God himself says that, our imams teach us that innama amalu biniyat, actions are judged by intentions. And so God himself knows that it wasn't our intention not to bury within 24 hours, but the circumstance required that there was a need for us to delay it so that we could do things right. So they understood that, and then the identification was done before the burial took place on Sunday. Now, even in the process, some of the families wanted the bodies to be returned to their hometowns, Tamale, Damango. And so we had to engage the overlords of all these people, again led by our senior brothers, in government. And through some proper mediation, they yielded to us burying in Accra. The military did a good job, and we buried the two Muslims last Sunday, as you correctly indicated. And Muslims, depending on the sect you belong to, and somehow these two people belong to the Sunnah sect, the Sunni sect. So the Sunni sect, they hold the view that the final funeral rites be performed 3 days after burial, and the 3 days start counting from the day of the burial. So today, Tuesday, was the third day after the burial. And so they did the final funeral rites for Al-Haji Limuna and Dr. Ibrahim Mutala. Limuna's zone was in Accra, Mutala's zone was done in Tamale in his constituency. And the cooperation and support has made things easier for everybody. And I'm sure the family is also healing. But this is not something one can ever forget. The pain will always be there. So what is now going to happen is that we will have the state funeral for all the 8 of them on Friday, the 15th of August. And it is anticipated that as we have been experiencing, the whole nation will join the families to give these fallen heroes the necessary, send-off that they deserve. And book of condolences have been opened at the various ministries where they served and agencies where they served, and in their homes as well. So we continue continue to pray for their souls and hope that, inshallah, Allah will receive them in His bosom. And for us Muslims, we are told that when people die in the course of service, they have special pardon, and especially when they die by burning, they have special favor. It's a promise of God. For us Muslims, it is not the ideal way to go, especially it is not easy for loved ones, but it is considered the purest and highest form of death in Islam. And it is reserved for God's chosen people. And so it makes it lighter for, people of faith and people who are close to bear. But it still doesn't take away the pain. But we are convinced that if the teaching of Islam is anything to go by, then we believe that they are in Jannatul Firdaus by now, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Alhassan Suhuyini, for this breakdown. I don't want to take too much of your time. This you actually did us a favor, because I know by now you should be long gone, getting ready for tomorrow.
To be honest with you, I've turned down all interviews until I think I did one, and that was it. I couldn't trust my emotions and my feelings, and I've been away from the media. People get confused about my brother, my younger brother, when they hear him.
Yes, you know what? He was on TV today. He was wild about. I was like, yeah, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. Do you know the moderator kept on going? He said, listen to me. I said, yeah, this is the blood. Oh. Suhuyini, thank you very much. Please, is there anything we should know again that we don't know, or do we just wrap it up here?
Well, I think we can wrap it up now. I want to thank the media. I think apart from a few who went overboard in the beginning, the coverage has been very impressive. I think that the boundaries to some extent have been respected, and the sensitivities of families have been appreciated in the news report. We still have so many questions that we can ask, especially after the mourning phase. We need to get answers to some of those difficult questions that can help us, improve things for the future. It is said that in aviation, the rules and regulations are written by blood. And it is so because every time there's an accident in aviation, the expectation is that it will lead to improvement, and it will lead to quality of service and improved safety. So it will be a shame if this incident does not lead to improved aviation regulations and safety in this country. So we need to ask those tough questions and get answers that will help improve the aviation system, even if it is just within the military after the mourning phase.
Thank you once again, Honorable Suhuyini, and stay strong, my